Hi, I'm Vlada, and today we're gonna learn the Russian alphabet and pronunciation. Even if you already know how to read Russian, this video might still be useful as I'll be explaining how to pronounce the sounds in a proper way with a native accent. There are 33 letters in the Russian alphabet, and they can be divided into groups like this. They're not in the alphabetical order here, it's just to help you learn and remember them faster, and I'll present the alphabetical order at the end of this video. Now let's get started with the first group. These letters both look and sound kind of similar to some English letters, and if you were wondering, the second colon shows the cursive style, so whenever we have to write by hand, we use this cursive style. The first letter is A, like A in the word car. The next letter is O. Actually, it has two pronunciations when it appears in words. So the first pronunciation is just like in the alphabet, O, when it is stressed. However, when it is not stressed, we read this letter as A. For example, the word молоко has three letters O, but only one of them, the last letter O, is read as O, but the first two letters are pronounced as A, молоко, because they are not stressed. Молоко. Z, like Z in zoo. K, like K in kitchen. M, like M in map. S, like S in city. T, the pronunciation of this letter is kind of like the English T, but it's much less aspirated. The tongue is flat and put forward, so the tip of the tongue touches the upper teeth. T, T, T. Now, can you read these Russian words for me? Pause this video and try to read them. Now let's check. Там, сам, так, мама, за, зам, мак, такт. Oh, also this little dash above A in mama indicates the stress. Кот, кто, мост, сок, том, тот, тост. Alright, now let's move on to the second group, letters that look the same as in some English letters, but sound completely different. So the letter Y, it sounds like Y in yet. U, like U in boot. V, like in my name, Vlada, or in the word vine, V. N, like N in not. R, this can be a little tricky to pronounce for English speakers, but actually in American English there is this sound in words like party, water. When you roll this tongue, the position of your tongue is the same as when we pronounce this letter R. So you can practice, and I'm sure you'll make this sound R. Ha. It's like the English H sound, like in hello, but it's a bit harder. Now, can you read these Russian words for me? Pause this video. And now let's check. Ваза, вот, век, вес, верх, на, ну, нос, нас, наст, рот, рост, ров, рак, ха, хан, хор, хна, ус, ура, уха. Oh, I also forgot to mention that when the letter V appears at the end of the word, we pronounce it not as V, no, but as F. So it's not rov, but it's rov. The third group includes letters that look different, but have sounds similar to some English sounds. Yo, like the sound yo in yonder. E, the long E in see. E, like the sound E in met. U, like you or use. Ya, like the sound ya in yard. These were the vowels. Now let's move on to the consonants in this group. B, like B in bit. G, like G in go. D, the position of the tongue is similar to when we pronounce the letter T, but D is voiced, whereas T is voiceless. It's not exactly the same as the English D. The tip of the tongue touches the upper teeth. D, 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 D. L, similar to the English sound in lamp. P, similar to the English sound P in pet, but less aspirated. F, I've already mentioned this sound, F, like in rov. Now, can you read these Russian words for me? Pause this video. Now let's check. Bar, bal, bak, bok, box, борт, bolt. Гол, гном, гимн. Да, два, дом, док, дно. Лак, лоск, лом, лес, лен. Лис, лифт, люк. Порт, спорт, пост, спирт. Форт, флот, флирт. Сэр, мэр, эра. And we are moving on to the last group, letters peculiar to the Cyrillic script. The first letter is U. I found a very useful piece of advice on Reddit. In this thread, how do you pronounce the letter U? Someone named Single says, quote, "You gotta yawn for real, not just open your mouth. Imagine that you haven't slept in 20 years, yawn so that you feel the back of your throat widening, and while yawning, change your mouth shape as if you're saying hard oo, but change your lips shape as if you're saying E. Then just vocalize your vocal folds. All of this at the same time. Good luck." Yes, this is letter U and sound U. Next, J. The sound J can be found in some English words like genre or pleasure, but the Russian J is a bit harder and the tongue is rolled backwards when we pronounce it, so it's J, J. The next letter is short E. Well, the name of this letter in the alphabet is short E, И краткое. And indeed, it makes the very short E sound, like Y in boy, boy, Y. C, C, like C in cats or dogs. No, not dogs, only cats. C. Ch, like Ch in chair, Ch. However, there are some words where this letter is pronounced not as Ch, but as Sh. For example, this word is not что, we read it as что. And this brings us to the next letter, sh. Sh is similar to sh in shut or shout. This is a hard consonant as opposed to the soft consonant, sha. Sh is softer than the English sh sound in sheet or sheer. Try making the ch sound. The position of the tongue is similar, except that the tongue doesn't touch the upper palate, the hard palate. The air passes through your teeth. Sh. Can you hear the difference? Sh, sh. Let's repeat. U, J, И краткое, which makes the sound Y. C, Ч, Ша, Sha. Now we only have two letters left, and these are some silent letters, which means they are not pronounced, but they influence the pronunciation of the letter that precedes them. This is the твердый знак, hard sign, твердый знак. It makes the preceding consonant hard. For example, this word, how do we read it? We read it as сел. And there is no hard sign in it, but if we put the hard sign after letter S, we need to make a pause after S, so it will be съел. Can you hear the difference? Сел, съел. The next letter is the soft sign. Мягкий знак. It makes the preceding consonant soft. For example, this word is read as os, but if we put the soft sign at the end of the word, we would read it as ось. Can you hear the difference? S, s. S is hard, s is soft. So how do we make this soft consonant? The bulk of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate when we make this soft sound. But when we pronounce the hard sound, for example, s, our tongue resembles the shape of a scoop. So this is our tongue, this is the upper palate. S is hard, but when we pronounce the soft sound s, our tongue, the bulk of the tongue is raised up towards the hard palate. S, 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 s. And it works like this for most of the consonants. Now let's practice. Can you read these Russian words for me? Pause this video and let's check. Жар, жанр, жир, час, чай, чек, чин, шанс, шах, шар, шок, шов, щи, щука, щека. Now let's practice making consonants soft as opposed to hard consonants. Брат, брать. Т, ц. Again, this is the same rule as I explained before. T, our tongue is in the shape of a scoop. T, ц. The bulk of the tongue touches the upper palate. T, ц. Брат is brother. Брать is the verb to take. That's why it's important to know the difference, to know how to make these different sounds. So the soft ц, it sounds like something in between t and s, but soft. Ц, like a tea kettle whistling. Ц. Брат, брать. Next, дал, даль. Дал, l, scoop, and l. The tongue is flat and touches the upper palate. L, дал, даль. Мат, мать. Мат, мать. Жар, жарь. The sound r, the soft r, can be especially tricky. What you need to remember is that the hard r is rolled further backwards, whereas r, the position is kind of like l, except that you need to vibrate to roll your tongue. R. Мел, мель. Мел, мель. Ест, есть. Ест, есть. Кон, конь. Кон, конь. Пит, пить. Пит, пить. Now I'm gonna read all the letters in the alphabetical order. A, B, V, G, D, E, Ё, Ж, Z, I краткое, which makes the sound Y. K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, Х, Ц, Ч, Ш, Щ, твердый знак, мягкий знак, Ю, Я. Now you're the master of the Russian alphabet. Congratulations!